All right. I think I did this right. Just kind of winging it here. So, welcome to Vlog Thursday, episode 87. And unfortunately, it's not going to be a real long one because I actually have a hard stop at about 20 minutes from now. So I'm supposed to be somewhere. And so that's why I even left the image. I do edit with GIMP to get all this going. And I have today's episode titled Making pfSense of the Daemons. That's actually because I'm working on something right now, and let me see if I can pull it up without violating any privacy. So I'm pulling up another window and I'll drag it over. I've been doing some testing with PF Blocker NG, the beta, and I moved it into our production system. And then I went to a job this morning, and then one of my guys had to reboot our firewall to fix it. But so I'm going to be doing some videos on it, and it still didn't fix the one part, but I can tell you that it works. So let's go over to drag this over here. There we go. And move me out of the way. There we go. So good news is, for those of you wondering just how good it works, the DNSBL is working. The system's working. Before one of my staff goofed with it, the reports were working. They're currently not working at this very moment. But I'm going to be doing a video real soon on this, so I want to talk a little bit about it real quick. It's pretty cool because it's much more when all the functions are working properly. It is much more like a pie hole when you're setting it up. So it's got the cooler reports and things like that. So I'm pretty excited to see the expansion and going into this. I'm a regular Patreon donor to the project itself of PF Blocker because I use it in a lot of different systems. But it definitely does work. It actually maybe works too well because of the way the deny lists. Let me drag these out of the way. Move this. I was trying to hide stuff that I don't know if it shows my public IP. So before I switch it over to you guys, here we go. Drag it over. So the menus are a whole lot different in here. So when you select, you have these like deny inbound, outbounds, and top spammers. Now, the problem I've had with some of the top spammer lists is it seems to have too many things in here and stuff like that. So it's been a little bit of a challenge dealing with some of that. So that's been kind of interesting for setting it up. I'm not going to dwell on this long, but I have been playing with it. It has some things that you have to do to make it all work, and so I'm going to do some videos on it. And of course, I'm doing this and running it in our own production system, so I want to help the developer, bring it to that final release, which I don't know when his final release. I didn't look at his roadmap to see when the final release is, but hey, I want to make sure that we can help them along, and I'll report any of the bugs I find. And of course, me doing a video on it and explaining how to set it up and how to work it and how to change things. There's a couple little nuanced things that I noticed that are different on there. By documenting that, I can hopefully get more people involved in the project and, help with all the bug testing and things like that. Because that's one of the important things is getting out there and doing some of the bug testing and getting it all, squared away and properly reported. Whoop, I'm moving my screen around the wrong way. OBS is a fun tool, in case you're ever wondering what I stream with here. So let me go back and start looking at people's things. So I got lots of hellos. Hello, everyone. Tom, I meant to email you, say thanks for the help over the time in videos. Thank you. No, just say it here. I'm fine with that too. Nice channel for open source. LAN party. Glitch in the Matrix. Yes, the Matrix is glitching bad right now. I think it's because I need a better video card. So that is, and let me drag this over. What happens is when you have too many things open at once, and you guys can see what I see now, sometimes it'll just goof up. And I think it's because I need a better video card in here. Oh, yeah, what do I honestly, and someone's going to knock down my tech cred. I don't know what video card's in my system, so I'm actually pulling it up. It is a, now my head's in the way again. There we go. I have a GeForce GTX 760. Nothing really to write home about. This whole computer is not anything that amazing. It's an i7 4770K, with at 3.5 gigahertz. So it's not like I have any incredible computer. What I do have is a problem of video memory right now. When I open too many things, let me close more things. That'll probably fix it. All right. Oh, it is. That's fixing everything. Awesome. There we go. All right. Yeah, so let's see. I have same issue with Linux and the GTX 640 here. Seems to happen with Chrome and OBS. Yeah, it doesn't happen when OBS is closed. So that's definitely probably a big part of the problem. So once I get rid of and close OBS, the flicker completely goes away, which is annoying because I only open OBS to record, and it's the only time the flicker really comes up. And it's undoubtedly some type of video memory issue that I'm having causing the problem. So anyways, yeah, Dino card. Yes, so yeah, I'm going to build myself another computer at some time. I just I don't play any games on this or anything at all. I just use it. The only thing it's used that's ever intensive is going to be the rendering, and occasionally I run VirtualBox on there, but I don't run things very often in VirtualBox, so it's not that big of a deal. So not really, it's not like a top priority for me to get that fixed. So here and there. Part of the reason too is we have been doing the car shuffle. So if and I'm always open about anything I kind of got going on personally, is I decided to retire. I've joked around, we call my car the toaster. I got someone else who wants to buy it, so now I have to go meet them, which is kind of cutting it short to go get rid of a car. My wife got another car, and I'm really cheap and won't buy a car, so now I got to go and I'm going to take my wife's car because hers isn't that old. Not to me anyways. So, and I don't drive. So I have to do all those fun things that I really dislike doing. And I'm going to be doing a video on my wife bought her car on Carvana, and I did a video of them delivering it, and I'll talk a little bit about Carvana. So I think it's one of those things that I'm busy and I don't want to deal with things sometimes, and I love simplicity. I love ordering things from Amazon, and there's so many people like buy local and all this, and I'm always like, I really want convenience, so I buy from a lot of online places, and so I'm actually going to do a video about buying from Carvana and how my wife got her Jeep that way, and it's kind of cool because, it's just like you pick out a car, there's no thing, they just drop it off, they take the money, and the car's in my driveway. I didn't have, dealerships suck to deal with and everything else. So I'm going to go in a whole video about that because it comes down to me still thinking about efficiency in business. Now, good news is tomorrow is going to be me and Brett talking about pricing your business, which I know a lot of people have asked about. And Brett's a friend of mine I've been hanging out with a lot more, and we just been talking about a lot of business ideas and things like that. Some of them, he's not in the tech industry. He's a business consultant, but we're going to be doing the talk about like pricing for growth and things like that. Because I want to make sure I'm always being as forthcoming as I can about how we do business and suggestions. And I also always throw in a caveat. I am not always like the only person or at all a big authority on this, so it's not like I should say, hey, just do what I do and you'll be successful. First, you have to decide, a few things, and I mentioned this before in one of my last videos, like what do you define as success? Because I define it a lot more as happiness than a monetary thing, and I'm not doing it, money doesn't matter BS, because it does. I mean, you got to pay the bills, so there is a level of money that matters. It just depends on how much in things like that. But it still is putting yourself in a growth mindset. So I kind of talk in generalities, but there's still rules you can apply to things in there. So I'm going to be talking a lot about the MSP stuff and things like that because I have a series of videos. I'm really deriving some opinions on how I think of MSP, and I want to define things differently. And you can charge whatever you want. I'm going to throw that out there. And I don't think that you're wrong for charging what you may consider because of what you've seen an outrageous price. The reality is the prices are honestly set by the free market. The problem in the tech industry, and this debate goes ad nauseum, this debate goes all the time, is, how much should I charge, or are they overcharging? Well, when there's not a easy way to free market the price, it becomes really difficult to figure out how much the price should be. So there's a lot of that. So we're going to have some of those discussions on there, and it's very subjective, but it's still interesting. That's the whole, that's a whole part I want to talk about, is so people can kind of think something about that. So someone asked me about a pfSense certification. Have you had any experience getting pfSense certification for pfSense? What is? Well, I don't know what pfSense certification is, so we're going to learn together. The Federal Information Processing Public Standards Certification. I don't do pfSense certification. We actually don't really do any. I guess I need to know why or what you're asking in specific. I don't certify. So whoever's asking at Fairsight Technologies, have you had experience getting pfSense 102 certified for pfSense firmware? Never tested it. I don't know. It's open source. I don't have an answer for the pfSense. Hello, Uncle Joe's. Love your business video. Very helpful to MSP in Texas here. Awesome. Presence equals pfSense. Yeah, I assume pfSense. So, unrelated news, it's so close to being done. Kyle has a whole list of T-shirts, and he's working on them. And part of it, too, the transition of we got the new guy hired, so we got things going on, and that's helping me a lot. So that's really good. So Kyle can finish off some of the marketing stuff, which is the T-shirts I've been talking about and integration into that. He uploaded the first T-shirt. We have a couple more to finish, and then we'll probably make that live tomorrow or the next day. So I'm excited about that. I was going to publish it today, but everything hit the fan today. But I'm going to drag over here because I think I can do it like this. I don't know if this will work or cause more screen tearing, but I'll find out. I did a video. Here, I'll just drag my personal photos over here. What could go wrong? There's me doing a video on site, but it was pouring rain. Well, not this one. This one. We're doing a big thing. Drag it over here at a soccer arena. So this is going to be fun. This is a big project. It's really not that big. The project's big, but our part is small. We're just putting Wi-Fi in arenas. For those of you outside the U.S., I refer to it as soccer, but I know if you're outside the U.S., this is a football arena. I don't do sport ball in general, whether you hit it with your foot or touch it with your hand. I don't do any real sport ball, but we're putting Wi-Fi in, and I did some on-site video because you guys love cabling install videos, so that's definitely going to be fun. So let's see. How long have I worked on pfSense? Have I deployed it in corporate environments? Whole bunch of times. I not only do we run it for ourselves, we got tons of clients running it. pfSense isn't our only firewall. It's one I talk about a lot because I'm a big fan of it, being that it's open source. So it's really good firewall overall. I've been really happy with it. pfSense I've been working with for probably 5 years. I can't remember exactly how long. And this goes back all the way to the early 2000s, my first firewall was actually a Mandrake distribution, software-based firewall. And then it was IPCOP. Then it was a whole list of them in between that I've used. So maybe one day I'll make the list of all the firewalls that I used to use that are now somewhat gone. Let's see, what else we got here? So my business partner and I are running some cables at home this Friday. Wish you luck. I wish you luck all the time. Have fun deploying it. Cabling is fun. I hire out my fun to my staff who does it. So Grafana, I'm not visualizing anything. Grafana is kind of neat. I don't do it as a I don't know. We really like the way that our SolarWinds dashboard is. That's where we put everything for that type of data that we're trying to track. But I'm not a big. The graphs are cool, but they don't help me that much. So I don't do a ton with the graphs. Something kind of funny now. It's tearing in OBS, but not tearing on my screen over here. So that's actually kind of strange. So yeah, I like the Inception thing. I'm laughing because I'm leaving it like this because it's amusing me. pfSense is nice. UniFi USG. One of the things about the UniFi versus USGs all depends on whether or not they need. Yeah, Smoothwall. That's the other one. I use Smoothwall as well. It all depends on what they need. If they need more complicated network settings, pfSense has more features. I love the UniFi product line. Oh, we got a great video coming up that we started testing. We didn't actually record anything yet, but we're doing a showdown between a bunch of the UniFis. We have them all set up in the other room, and we're doing speed tests on all of them at different distances and seeing how they perform. So that's going to be a fun video related to UniFi. We love any of their stuff. Untangle firewalls, if you're not familiar with them, are really slick too. They're another one that I would probably recommend to people. I may do some Untangle videos. They make a nice product. It's untangle.com, pretty easy to find. They have some kind of cool management things that pfSense I wish did. So as we do some jobs, we maybe something that we get into. We manage, and I just don't do a lot of videos on it. We manage Cisco firewalls for clients. We manage a variety of equipment. Because it's not like we're cookie cutter, every client's the same. We're a tech house that does like a big variety of things. So that being said, I only happen to do the videos on pfSense because they've been like a go-to solution for so many big projects. I got really good at them. And some of the other ones are nice. Like some of the, they work well. It all just, yeah. So it all just kind of depends on use cases. But I might do some Untangle videos. I may do a OpenSense video. It's on my to-do list. So stuff I'm thinking about. So, what else? I wanted to cover something else because I do have only about 10 more minutes before I got to run. But I will be doing some more videos on the GFI platform related to the MSP. So when I do the MSP stuff, I'm actually going to be doing it and breaking down processes and procedures that we have and kind of just putting a few more things together. So, what are your thoughts about Cisco enterprise equipment? Have you configured them? Yes, I have. I think the Ciscos you have to be used to Cisco. They're a little bit more complicated, but they're solid. I've got lots of times when we've deployed and have current deployments with Cisco because it was a checkbox. We do a lot of work with a school district. It's all Cisco top to bottom. It's the checkbox. They require Cisco. There's no way to deviate them from that, and that's fine. I don't try. They have really good funding. Cisco gives them some type of school discount, so we have to configure Cisco, and it works. I got no problem with it. It functions fine for what they want to do. It's not like the Cisco firewalls and the switches, we're using a ton of Cisco PoE switches all across all their districts, and the one thing I'll say, some of them that we've pulled out because they were old, that's the only reason we removed them, because they needed to go gigabit. They were running 100 meg in some of them, as you do some of the transition upgrade. But we retired them from obsolescence, not because they fell apart. And that's something, my general history with Cisco, I'm not saying nothing ever fails, but they generally seem to be pretty solid. So I'm glad the pfSense videos helped a lot of people learn. Application control is non-existent on pfSense. I can't recommend a use as a security device. Well, yeah, that's the thing. If you need some of the application level control, and for example, if you need to install certificates and everything, you should probably go look at a different firewall. So if you have a network requirement of installing certificates on every device to have full control and see inside the stream, then don't go with pfSense. That's not the niche that pfSense does. The other problem, just in general, we're running into in IT here is the fact that more and more streams are encrypted with TLS 1.3. It's breaking even with installed certificates. It causes more problems. So there's a lot you have to think about if you're doing deployments like that. So it's a thing, and I've talked about it before. It's kind of a pain, and it's whether or not you opt into needing that or not. So we're doing another big office that doesn't have any certificate installs, doesn't plan to do any, and pfSense is a good fit for them. pfSense is a good fit for the stadium. It works really well. So yeah, that it's it's where it fits the client and what fits the needs and what fits the demand. It's quick. On one of your UniFi systems I've built for one of my customers, your SSD boot for Ubuntu server and software, RAID MDM, do you use RAID your OS? Not usually. Generally speaking, because the OS does so little reading and writing, it depends on if the customer wants a level of RAID. So we built that really nice machine for the client to run their UniFi cameras. We RAIDed all the hard drives, 1 for redundancy, 2 for space, but we did not RAID the actual which we did not raid the actual boot device. Didn't really feel the need to. We put in a nice quality SSD. So, as always, someone asks, what do I think of pfSense? I'll do a review of it sometime, I guess. I haven't had a use case that it doesn't have, other than, I guess, in the beta of it, they're going to have the WireGuard VPN, which is kind of cool. WireGuard's a very new style VPN. So, you know, other than that, it doesn't offer anything that pfSense does. So when I look at the comparison, I'm like, okay, what does it do? Now, Untangle has a lot more features than pfSense. So it's an interesting firewall. It's got a cool dashboard and a cloud controller, everything else. So, okay, that's kind of neat. I'm, maybe I'll do a video on it. But pfSense versus pfSense, it doesn't compel me enough to make me go, wow, it's so amazing. It does all these million things I've been missing. Granted, anyone who wants to debate this, I have no idea why pfSense doesn't do it. pfSense does integrate 2FA, pfSense doesn't. We don't open up pfSense to the bigger outside world, and we use very high entropy gibberish passwords, so I don't completely worry about it. And you can put restrictions on what can access pfSense anyways. So, let's see. Application code terms of conditioning traffic. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can, instead of, and here's the problem with application control. You can only do so much with it because so much stuff runs over HTTPS now, and once they tunnel something over HTTPS, you can't see the traffic anyways. So that's how any of these deep packet inspection systems work, is by identifying the traffic. But if the traffic encapsulates itself over HTTPS, then that's it. What are you going to do? And it's broke. So, yeah, there's the application stuff is, I think it's got it works now, but it's got an overall short life, because as more and more things become TLS 1.3 and encapsulated with, essentially what TLS 1.3 does is double encapsulate, because it creates an ephemeral key per session and doesn't allow anything to see inside of it, so it breaks all the applications. Matter of fact, I've been laughing because when you use like Snort, it has application level detection in there, but it misclassifies lots of data. It looks at all the UniFi data. What does it call it? I was looking at it, and it's one of the problems is that a lot of stuff gets misidentified all the time when you're trying to do application filtering. I think it's a short-lived thing. It works in certain circumstances, but as more and more things move over to encapsulation with TLS 7.3, you're not going to know what the traffic is anyways. Let's see. Yeah, UTM. Yeah, like some you can deduct that. Last thing I'm going to talk about here before I jump off is, for those of you who've been asking about turning this into a podcast, I actually am going to create a Vlog Thursday podcast. I actually found some clever software that'll kind of help do this for me. So after we upload Vlog Thursday, it'll be an automated tool that grabs the Vlog Thursday. I don't know how if I'm going to automate it or not, or I'll just do it manually like I do with the Sunday Morning Linux Review podcast, and I'll make sure when I'm doing these, one, they're not going to be particularly visual, which Vlog Thursdays really aren't, and I'll try to make sure I always read all the questions, and that way I can make sure there's a full interaction. So if you listen to this as an audio, it'll still be complete for you to listen to. So I think that's an important aspect of it. But yeah, no, I will definitely be. A lot of people have asked me to turn this into a podcast, and I absolutely will. The only downside is some of these are going to be short, but some of the other videos I'll convert over to podcasts, or like some of the videos me and Brett are going to do about business, because we're just talking heads and there ain't much to look at. So we're just going to go ahead and turn some of those talking head videos that there's no visual reference for and turn those into podcasts. That's for those of you that just want to, listen to it through whatever podcast streaming app. It'll be here on YouTube, and in addition to, it will be in a podcast form. So, well, yeah, application control also uses IPs, other factor, to detect what type of traffic on my on the 40 gate. And the reason why is because Skype's not trying to obscure itself. Neither is the Office 365 connection. So a lot of things don't try to obscure themselves. And of course, the IP blocks are well known for some services like YouTube. So doing that type of an application is easy because you're like, hey, it goes to the block of IPs that belong to YouTube. Well, then it must be a YouTube stream, and then you can just block it. You're right. And pfSense doesn't really have those features, and that's why sometimes we have other firewalls with some of our other clients, because it does have all that. We even got Sonic walls with some of our clients. I'm less a fan of the Sonic wall, by the way. When I say I don't like them, it's not because I don't use them. It's because I don't care for the interfaces that much. Oh, so yeah, we don't come to look at you. Thank you. That's a good comment. Do your employees have valid IT certificates, and do you advocate for staff training certs? I have no problem paying them for training. I don't care about certs. I care if they know things. Some have some certs, some don't. It's not a mandate to work here that you have your certification or keep it up, because I don't care. I care about the knowledge of that people have. And I think I've shared this before, but I'll share it again before I leave because it just made me laugh. So one of the clients that is spent a lot of money with us, a bigger client, and I thought it was an odd meeting because I rarely ever get this, when we're bidding these things. And it's funny. So the client, I sit down with them, and we do these services, blah blah blah. We're pitching managed services to them, and the client says, "Well, are you certified in Microsoft? Do you have this cert and this cert?" And he asked me a lot of deep certification questions, and I said, no, sir, I don't. And he goes, good. He goes, next person says they're certified, I'm going to certify their ass out of this office. And I just started laughing. And basically, he had gotten this giant pitch, and he just didn't care. The last IT company that he fired was certified up the butt, as he put it, in less nice terms. And they had so many service failures, and that's why we were there. It was one thing after another, like total disaster IT stuff, including losing data, backups not set up properly, just everything went wrong. And like he had said, he goes, they were certified. It's all I heard about is how they're sending me a certified tech. He goes, I think they're all certified idiots. And I kind of laugh on that. So it's one of those things like, I think it's important to have knowledge more than anything else. First and foremost, knowledge. Certs, if you're trying to get a job in corporate, get certs. Corporate uses them as a filter for when applications are flying at them of, hey, I need to find a technician. I don't know, start with certs, because it's not always that you're being interviewed and analyzed by someone with a deep technical knowledge. So those certs become a very important piece that you need to have for that. But when it comes to my company, and because I am a technician who owns a business, I know the real meaning of certificates of, great, you regurgitated information on a piece of paper and passed the test. And it's not where I put the most value in my staff. My staff is not that. So, MikroTik, any idea? There's nothing that makes me want to use a MikroTik. So, people seem to really like them. I'm not a big fan of them. Once again, they're not a device that compels me, that has so many features I should use. Everyone tells me that they want to make videos because they're so hard to set up. And I said, well, if they're that hard to set up, why would I want to do it? They don't save me a fortune over other hardware choices, and they don't offer, they're good. I'm not saying they're not bad. They make bad hardware, but they don't offer enough compelling reasons for me to use them. So, yeah, demonstrate knowledge, create value. Those are important features of your technicians. So, anyways, yeah, certified idiots. All right, well, I do have to run now because now it's time. I got to do things and go do the car thing and swap a vehicle and drop another one off and all that fun stuff that I don't like doing. I want more. So see, now I should automate the selling it. I know I could have traded my cars in, but I got old cars and no one wants them. So I gotta go drop one off to sell to a guy and finish all that fun stuff. So, best tech passion means a lot in technology, almost over everything else. Last thing I'll say, thank you. There's 35,000 and change subscribers, so that's outstanding. That's exciting. I'm excited. I'm going to look. I'll give you the exact ones. 35,136 people as of right now. So that's pretty awesome. I'm happy about that. So I look forward to more interaction. I really wish I had more time. As you know, don't retire too early. No, I'm never retiring, by the way. So thank you guys. Awesome. I will be back. Maybe I'll do another live stream if I got time Saturday. I like doing them every now and then. I have some server upgrades I'm going to do Saturday, so I'll probably be here. But I also, in the fall, for those of you that don't know, or if you've ever found my personal channel or anything, I really try in the fall, I get out and relax on the motorcycle to avoid some tech burnout. So that's an important aspect. That's why I don't do as many videos in the summer as I do winter. So you guys can all just hope for a really, really nasty Michigan winter, because it keeps Tom inside. And if I'm inside, I'm usually making videos or doing some other tech projects and things like that. So, hey, thanks again. And all that. What in the world? All right, thanks. Have fun. Take care. I'm going to stop the stream now. Love all you people. Awesome. Thank you for all 35,000 of you too.